reclaiming our identity once again. Back, it's been a minute since at least I have posted, and it's been a little while since both Janine and I have posted. It's been a lot going on over the last couple months. I think it's probably been maybe at least probably about 2 months since the last time we posted a video, at least with both of us. We've just been running to and fro, been tired, not feeling like posting a video. We've posted some videos on, we've been posting some videos on Facebook about some things that have been going on here and just, just kind of keeping people abreast of what's been going on. But I wanted to come on here, number one, because I hadn't been on in a minute. And I wanted to share, a few things that I love, and better yet, that we love about living here in Rwanda. We've been here for a little over 4 months now. We got here August 14th, and we have been here for a little over 4 months, basically 4.5 months, almost 4.5 months. And a lot has happened in those 4.5 months. We have been seeing some ups and downs, some hills and some valleys, but overall, it's been a pleasant experience. Um, and I wanted to kind of just talk about some things that I love about being here in Rwanda. And I want to start first of all. The first thing I guess will probably be the weather. Number one will probably be the weather. It is, when I mean it is beautiful here, it's ridiculously beautiful, warm weather. I was looking, I guess, over the last week or so, how it's been just freezing in the States and even in the South. I'm hearing about, below, not just below freezing, but what is it, like below 10 degrees weather, below 10, 20-degree weather. And right now, I am outside, as you can see. It is 5 o'clock here, 5:02. Um, and it is, of course, December 26th here. And I am outside with a t-shirt on and some shorts. So it's beautiful here. We're actually in the rainy season where it rains literally every single day. And what's crazy is that when it rains here, it rains like, I mean, it rains like the flood. Like God is like, I'm getting ready to wipe this thing out. So it rains really, really hard. It may rain for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. It rains really, really hard, and then it stops. And, it's fine the rest of the day. It may rain again later, but you never get like, okay, this constant rain where it's just raining, raining, raining all day long. You don't, for some reason, we have not experienced that here. Um, I don't know if that happens, later on in the year or some other time of year, but we have not experienced that here. Uh, but it's warm. The climate, it gets, when it gets cold here, the cold is probably about 60 degrees. That's what we have experienced here, maybe about 60. But typically, um, early morning, or late evening is when it's the coolest. Um, excuse me. And sometimes you may need a light jacket, but other than that, it's not it's not cold. And typically during the day, the temperature is in the upper 70s, low to mid 80s. That's typically the temperature. So that's one of the things is the temperature. The weather is just beautiful here. I just love the weather here. You don't have to worry about um, having the heavy coats. You don't have to worry about what the weather's going to be like. You just have to really worry about whether or not it has rained. And so because it rains, because we're in the rainy season, it rains all day. Not all day, but it rains every single day. You kind of have to work around in a way the weather, the rain. What I mean is this: so like if you are, of course we have a car, but if you don't have a car, if you catch if you catch a moto, which is one of the motorcycles, then literally when the rain starts, I mean, basically everybody is finding some kind of underpass or something, and so people are not doing anything. You're not riding a motor or anything like that when you are when it starts raining, and so that can, kind of put a little damper or pause on where you're trying to go, because you might have to stay put for 20, 30 minutes. But that's the first thing. The first thing that that we enjoy about being here is the weather. The weather is it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. The second thing I would say is the peacefulness. It is calm here. It is very serene. It you don't have to worry about the crime. You don't have to worry about, of course, police brutality. You don't have to worry about getting robbed. You don't have to worry about getting shot. You don't have to worry about any of those things here in Rwanda. Um, the I mean, it's so peaceful here. Listen, so we when right now our children are on break, holiday break, and but typically when school is in, you see children walking to school. And when I say children walking to school, I'm talking about there are children who look like they're probably 4 or 5 years old. I've seen children who, I mean, have to be, I mean, they can't be any older than 5, 6 years old, walking to school by themselves, walking to school by themselves. And this happens every day. And we see it, pretty much everywhere. And so there's no threat that, okay, somebody's going to kidnap my child, somebody's going to molest my child, or anything like that. It is, it's a country where, people feel safe, allowing their children to, walk to school, allowing your children to play out, not just play out in the yard, but play out outside the gate, you know in the community. You'll see children walking around everywhere, and they aren't with their parents, which is, of course, strange or odd for those of us who are coming from the States because, I mean, you have to watch everything there, but you you have to deal with none of that. None of we have not heard or experienced uh, anything that would cause us to think, man, I don't know if we should really stay here because of the safety. Now, of course, because we are from the States, we're from the West. It's a little, it takes a little while for us to get used to, being comfortable, just, allowing the children to, you know, be out like that. Um, but it is a pleasure. It is so refreshing to be able to be here and not have to worry about the safety of our children. So the second thing is the safety, and then on top of that, um, there are there are police everywhere. And what's interesting also is that the police here, you you'll now they have guns, but rarely do you see. I mean, I'm not gonna say rarely, but you don't always. Oftentimes, you don't see them with guns. And so they will be standing, on the corners, just kind of surveying, and uh, pulling people over for traffic, um, not traffic violations, because that seems to rarely take place here. But they will pull people over to check your license, check your make sure you have insurance. I got pulled over twice in the last week, um, for nothing. They just want to check your papers, make sure that you are legal. And so we are and so you'll find a lot of police. And so there will be some who will have guns, but the majority of them, you don't see them with guns, which tells us that this is a very safe environment, very safe place to be. So yes, like I said, the safety, the weather, it's just a peaceful place, just a peaceful place. Another thing, and if you Google Rwanda, then you'll see also that it is the cleanest city in Africa. It is also one of the cleanest cities in the world, and that is because they have something called Umuganda, which is the last Saturday of every month. And on the last Saturday of every month, the entire community goes out and they clean. Now, the country, especially Kigali, is already a clean city. And you'll see, people. You'll see. I mean, literally, when I go for a walk in the morning, or you go for a drive wherever you're going, you'll see these. I would suppose they are city workers, and they are out. They are sweeping. They're picking up trash. They're pulling grass, doing whatever they need to do to keep the city clean. And I'm talking about sweeping up dirt in the streets, on the sidewalks. It's just they do everything they can to keep this city clean. And so on Umuganda, what they do is on that particular day, I think it's from 8 to 10. From 8 to 10, they, the whole community, the city, they go out and they clean, pick up trash, and if there's anything, they may do some just different kinds of things where they are, picking up trash, restoring communities, pulling out, digging up trees, whatever it may be. But they're doing something to keep the city beautiful, which I believe is great. And so for those who are Sabbath keepers, then you don't have to do it on Saturday, on Sabbath. Then you do it on Sunday. And so those are so Umuganda, just keeping the place clean. And also one of the things I noticed as well is, so like if you are in the States, you can go to, let's say you go to a gas station, and you have to go to the bathroom, and you're rolling the dice when you go to the bathroom, because you don't know if that thing is going to be clean. And and oftentimes, if you're like us, then you will, you will pass, you would drive past certain gas stations, because that you can look and you can tell that the bathroom is probably going to be nasty. When you come here to Rwanda, that is not the case. When I say that, probably every single bathroom. I'm not talking about just a gas station, but I'm talking about probably every single bathroom that I have gone to since we've been here in this city, whether it's in a restaurant, a gas station, convenience store, whatever it may be, it's always clean. It's always clean. When I say it's always clean, meaning, I mean, the toilet is not nasty. It's it's clean, and I'm talking about in the men's room. I'm not talking, typically, I would assume that the women's restroom is probably, cleaner. It's probably somewhat clean because, you know. Um, but when you go to the men's bathroom, especially in the States, that's not always the case. And so, but when you come here, it doesn't make a difference whether it's the men's or the women's. Um, the bathrooms are clean, which I just think is great. The next thing is, and I've mentioned this before, uh, but the cost of living. Cost of living here is just ridiculously low. And when I say ridiculously low, I mean ridiculously low. If you've subscribed to us, so you've probably seen our videos where we've talked about the the food, and so we can go and we can get cabbage for 30 cents. We can get a big cabbage for 30 cents. Go get a bundle of collard greens for 50 cents. Go get a pineapple for 80 cents to a dollar. What else? What else? Mangoes for 50 cents. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Now, what you will pay for is there are some things that are, now when you're talking about fruits and vegetables, those things, I mean, it's just going to be cheap, period. It's going to be ridiculously cheap. But then when you get into the store, and some of the things, especially if you're used to some things from the West, it's going to be more expensive. So, for instance, because we are vegan, soy milk here, to purchase soy milk, if we go to this one particular a supermarket called Simba, I think it's I don't know, maybe it's a half a liter. Is either a liter or half. No, I would assume it's probably a half a liter. It's $3.80 for this typically you go to the grocery store in the States and you get it was a half a gallon of soy milk, and it's typically, depending on where you go, you're talking about $2 to $4. But here, half of that half a gallon is $4. And so if you are someone who drinks a lot of soy milk, or then that gets expensive. Um, and then almond milk here is just ridiculously expensive. That same half of a half a gallon is it's like $7 $8. And so we don't get the almond milk because we have five of us here, and if we're eating cereal and oatmeal, things like that, that just, I mean, you can't spend $7 $8 for one small container of almond milk. So you have things like that. Cereal here is very expensive. I don't understand why. So you're talking about, um, you know, uh, 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 Kellogg's, Kellogg's cereal. You can get Kellogg's cornflakes, and you're talking about $9 for a box of Kellogg's cornflakes. And so cereal here, granola. If you're talking about a box of granola, depending on the type, the brand that you get or whatever, you're talking about still, $10, $11 for a box of cereal. And so we uh, typically get, there's another brand that has like a granola and muesli that we can get between like 480, 490, and 550 or something like that we get. That's for a box, and it's not the big box. It's the same box that you would get in the States. So that's expensive. So there are different things that you will find here that are inexpensive, and then there are things that are expensive. Um, uh, Housing is inexpensive. You can get a house here, a four-bedroom house, depending on where you want to live. But you can get a four-bedroom house here for $400 easy. 400, $450. You can get an apartment here for, I've seen apartments for like $250, $300 for an apartment, one bedroom apartment. Appreciate you viewing. If you know better, you'd do better. If you knew better, you'd do better. Appreciate you watching. Um, but yeah, so I mean, you're talking about housing that is cheap, and so I have actually, we have not done a video of our house. And I said several months ago that I would do a video. This is probably not the right time to do the video since my wife, I don't know what's going on inside. I know she's cooking, but I don't know if the house is available to be seen right now. But we are actually, but I'll say this. Our house is, this is a 4 bedroom, 3 bath house. It is in an area of the city called Kichikiru, Kagarama, and it is it's considered a suburb of Kigali, and this area is really kind of it's a peaceful area, and it's really kind of you'll find a lot of houses that are being built here, and also the area you find really cheap houses. You'll find some houses that are, like I said, $400 a month, 4 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms. But our house here, and I don't think I've ever shared the cost, but this house that we are renting here is $600 a month. $600 a month. All right. So, I mean, some of y'all are seeing it, $600 a month, which is just ridiculous. So we're paying $600 a month for this house, and this exact same house in the States, a house like this, I mean, you got a yard, you know, um, got a gate up there. This exact same house in the States is gonna cost you, I mean, if you're talking about renting it, it's gonna be at least 3 times, at least 3 times as much. And so you can imagine if we are, if the rent is $600 a month, okay, and you're talking about you've heard the food, you've heard me mention the food, the cost. Our children are in, of course, international school. School is inexpensive, whereas in the States, you're going to pay for a international or private school. You're going to pay, it's going to be expensive. I mean, the schools that my children go to here are, one of them is $700 every 3 months. $700 for an international school every 3 months. Yeah. I have 3 children. One of them goes to a school called Iwachu Academy. This school is, I mean, great. This school is ridiculous. It's in an area of town called Vision City, which is near where we are preparing to move. Amen, somebody. Because we want to get closer to the school. And it's called Iwachu Academy, IWACU Academy. It is in Vision City. We actually are really, really good friends with the owners of the founders of the school, who actually really took us under their wing, that entire family, when we moved here. But Iwachu Academy, that's one of the schools. And another school our children are at is a school called Path to Success. And our children, both our daughters go there, and it is every 3 months is like $1,000. $1,000 every 3 months, and $700 every 3 months. Rent is $600. I don't have a car note. Food is, I mean, listen, I'm just saying, our expenses for the month are just ridiculously low. Ridiculously low. Okay? If we're talking about $600 a month for rent, You pay the children's tuition every 3 months, and that means every month, if you only paying, if your largest expense is your rent, I mean, we're talking about. Listen, I'm gonna be real. Less. It's a whole like this. It's a whole lot less than $2,000 a month. Moving there in March with my wife and twin 8-year old. Hey man, that's what I'm talking about, man. Iwachu, yes. Connect with us when you get here, man. There's an expat group here. I don't know if you've been here before. If you know better, do better. But there's a expat group here that is very, very much connected with this area. And anything you need, pretty much you can get information on that from this group. But you can connect with us uh, on our um, Gmail account, Destination West Africa 2022 at gmail.com. You can have if you have any questions or anything like that. But yeah, so um, but beautiful, beautiful. I mean, it's cheap, 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 cheap. So you gotta listen. I've been there 7 times. Oh man, so you are so you know what you're getting yourself into. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so you are already prepared. That's good stuff, man. But I just want to come on here and share a little bit. Kind of reach back out and make another video because we haven't been on here. I haven't been on here in a while, and we promise that we are going to get back to making videos again, keep you guys informed of what's going on here in Rwanda. We are actually in a process. We are looking for another house. We are preparing to move soon because um, it is an hour and a half drive to take my children to two different schools and to come home. I leave at 6:45 in the morning. I don't get home to 8:15. And so we are trying to, and gas here is expensive. It's almost $5. It's for something a gallon. Well, it would be equivalent to for something a gallon. It is they do liters here. And so it's $1.58 per liter. And so, that gets expensive when you are driving, a lot. And so what we're trying to do is get closer to one of the two schools. And so the area of town that we are trying to move into is an area called Gachuriro, which is literally, it's where my son's school is. So that will put us, less than this particular house that we're trying to get into will put us less than 5 minutes away from the school. Uh, we'll be about 25 minutes away from our girls' school. And so it will save on gas. It will save on some of the stress of driving here. Because let me tell you, the driving is something serious. My wife is telling me to hurry up. Uh, are you needing me? Oh, okay. All right. So I gotta go. Gotta handle business. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for viewing.